Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine Avadara Varishtaya Ramakrishna te Namah Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityor ma mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who established religion in the true spirit, who integrated all religions of the world. Let us pray to him to lead us from unreal to the real, from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, from death to immortality. Today's topic, marks of greatness. People want to become great, but there are so many shades of greatness. There are some who are very great in sport field. There are some scientists who are very great in their research work. So what do we mean by marks of greatness? Of all the greatness, we give importance to the spiritual greatness. A person who is great spiritually, he is really great. He is loved by everyone in this universe. Nobody dislikes him, and he dislikes none. That is a tremendous quality, which is spiritual greatness. Many incarnations have come to show us that fine divine quality. It is only in human life we can manifest such greatness. So we should aspire for that. As soon as we see a remarkable goodness in a person, we immediately, spontaneously call him, what a godly man he is. Spontaneously, even though we may not believe the existence of God, still it comes out immediately. What a remarkable person, seems to be a very godly man. After all, who is God? It is He who loves everyone, who is concerned with the whole humanity, who is concerned with the whole universe, not simply concerned with particular section of people or particular country. No. That is why it is declared in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. What a famous statement it is. I am residing in everyone's heart. That is what Lord Krishna says. Irrespective of caste, color, creed or race or country. In each and every one there is the divine spark. That is the spark of the Supreme Spirit. That which we call God. God is nothing but that supreme divine light which ensures remarkable peace and tranquility, which ensures stability in our life. That is what is to be understood by God. Sri Ramakrishna has come, Swami Vivekananda has come in this modern age to show to the people, to manifest the remarkable spiritual quality that is inherent in everyone. What is that? It is the spiritual strength. Spiritual strength, unparalleled. It can stand any test in this world. It can break through any hardships. It can pass through any circumstances and situations and environments. He is not shaken in the least. That is the spiritual strength. It is that spiritual strength that made Swami Vivekananda visit this great land, America. Penniless he came. Without any friends he came, not knowing anybody in this country. Yet, what forced him to come to this land of freedom, to this land who love liberty, who love freedom? What made Swami Vivekananda to come to this land? It is the remarkable quality of divine love. He was concerned with the whole humanity. He was deeply moved by the distress of the people. So he came to show the path, to show the right path, to give them correct interpretation of religion, to give practical Vedanta, not simply theorizing or not to be dogmatic or fanatic. No, that is the remarkable quality. That is spiritual greatness. Accepting all the religions of the world, tremendous dimension. So, we must try to understand the importance of this kind of spiritual greatness. So, the real greatness is not referred to the material success or success in some kind of enterprise in the material world which we experience every day. That is nothing compared to the spiritual greatness. The real greatness is achieved by the unfoldment of spiritual power. It is inherent in every one, so it is possible. If it were not with us, it would not have been possible at all to manifest that quality. So, a man of spiritual greatness only experiences maximum peace and joy. So, the first important mark of greatness, strength. Who is really called strong? Is it mere physical strength, muscle power? He who controls his anger. Secondly, the second important quality of greatness, he is not ashamed to learn even from a child. Third, he is content with whatever he has. He is not disturbed because he didn't have some things. Fourthly, he does not hesitate in giving due respect to everyone, whoever it may be. He respects everyone. He respects the whole universe. Now we shall tackle these important qualities which we have classified as marks of greatness. There are so many marks of greatness. In fact, if you read Bhagavad Gita, there's a big list in Sthita Prajna Lakshana, man of steady wisdom. Now, anger is to be fought with remarkable strength, because the anger is the destroyer of person's peace and tranquility. Anger is the gateway to hell. It entangles one more and more to wickedness. It binds person to abomination. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a famous passage where Sri Krishna clearly points out, Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nasanamatmanaha kamaha krodaha tatha lobaha tasmad etatrayam tyajet. Very clearly specified. Krodha, anger, that is the gateway leading to ruination of a person. Because of this anger, people commit all sorts of crimes. He who controls his anger is said to be really strong. We have seen in the lives of spiritual persons how even under provocation and insult, they never showed temper, but maintained their calmness. That is a remarkable quality. To give an instance, once Girish Chandra Ghosh, who became a staunch devotee of Sri Ramakrishna in his later years, who completely surrendered to Sri Ramakrishna, who gave his power of attorney to him, after which he remained perfectly calm. During his formative period, he was used to take to drinking. He used to drink lot of liquors. Once he was under that influence of liquor, he uttered very abusive language which should not be even heard of by any sensible person. All the devotees who were sitting around Sri Ramakrishna, they became furious because Girish was uttering all nonsense about Sri Ramakrishna, not knowing what he is talking about. So these people were about to punish him. Just at that moment, Sri Ramakrishna, the personification of kindness and love, restrained them. Girish continued to abuse. Sri Ramakrishna never uttered a word. He simply swallowed everything, whatever he said. There is another instance where Sri Ramakrishna has shown his perfect state of calmness, how he could win over the element of anger. Once Haladar, a Kalighat priest, he became jealous of Sri Ramakrishna since Mathur Babu, a very rich man of that time, was very fond of Sri Ramakrishna. So whenever Mathur Babu would come to Dakshineshwar temple, he would pay respects to Sri Ramakrishna and spend few hours talking with him. But he would not go to this Haldar, the Kalighat priest. So he wanted to know what was the secret. There was nothing secret. Sri Ramakrishna was personification of love and affection, so all people would go. So that way Mathur Babu also came. Once Haldar came to Madhur Babu's house, where he found Sri Ramakrishna sitting all alone. He thought that this was the correct situation to teach Sri Ramakrishna a lesson. So he began to shake the body of Master and said, "Tell me, how could you captivate Mathur? How is it that he always obeys you?" The Master couldn't answer because he was not conscious of the outside world. He was in a samadhi state. Poor fellow, that Kalighat priest, how could he understand that? But in an angry mood, Haldar, he kicked the Master with great force and used all sorts of abusive language. But Sri Ramakrishna, the personification of humility, never reacted in the least. Now, there is another remarkable instance where we find Sri Ramakrishna demonstrating his exemplary composure. You may know all these incidents, still it is very appropriate to tell that in this present context. One night, after 12 o'clock or so, Sri Ramakrishna had gone out to Panchavati to do meditation. There was one devotee, a disciple, sleeping in Master's room that day. After some time he woke up and found there was no Master there. That disciple's name was Yogendranath. So he went out. He could not see where Sri Ramakrishna had gone. Immediately he thought, oh, probably Sri Ramakrishna might have gone to Holy Mother's room, which is very nearby. Now I can catch him when he comes back. He began to doubt the character of Sri Ramakrishna. He could not think otherwise. He did not dream that Sri Ramakrishna would have gone for meditation, because nobody knew that people would meditate after 12 o'clock. Generally we all go to sleep. So he just He was waiting at a corner in the dead night just to see whether Sri Ramakrishna would come out of in Nahabat. He was just waiting. He heard the sound of slippers. He was nervous for the moment. He began to see here and there. Then he found that sound was approaching him. And the dark night, a figure was approaching him. Who was that figure? It was Sri Ramakrishna himself. He was directly coming from Panchavati, and he could notice somebody standing in the corner. So he just came straight to him. Oh, Yogen, what are you doing here? Why are you standing? Then Yogendranath could not talk at that moment. He felt ashamed that he had doubted his master. He felt terribly pained at heart. But Sri Ramakrishna said, don't worry. It is good you have tested me. There is nothing wrong. But try to raise your mind and keep on the divine thoughts. You will progress well in the spiritual life. I appreciate your testing me. I am not angry about you, about that. So he showered love and showed more affection to Yogendranath, who became one of the foremost disciples of Sri Ramakrishna in the later years. Buddha has given us a significant teaching. He who holds back rising anger like a rolling chariot, him I call a driver. Other people are but holding the reins. What a fine statement. The second important quality which I marked, he is not ashamed to learn even from a child. He is said to be truly wise. We can see that in Sri Ramakrishna's life. He himself has said, as long as I live, so long do I learn. Knowledge is infinite. Who can say that I have known everything? Nobody can say that. Because it is infinite. Knowledge is infinite. So learning is refining. The more we learn, the more we become refined. That's the attitude we should have. If we have the attitude of learning, then our ego is subdued. The more we become humble, the more we become nearer and closer to God. So this attitude of ever learning is a hallmark of true humility. So with this perspective, we must look upon the life. Life is a school of learning, which is always in session. Intuition and experience are the best teachers there. Observation and reason are their valuable allies in instructing the students of all ages and outlooks and attitudes. We can learn what life means or ought to mean. Let us scan the first verse in the Bhagavad Gita, which has got tremendous spiritual significance. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakav pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. The Bhagavad Gita starts from dharma. Dharma kshetra and kurukshetra, these are the two words used there. And their coexistence in the verse make us learn that life is the field of war between good and evil, and that we are called upon to put forth energetic endeavors to see that the good and the true triumph over the forces of evil. There are two other most significant words mentioned by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita again. They are kshetra and kshetrajna. in chapter 13, which has a great lesson for us. What is kshetra? Kshetra is a body of ours which is a field of operation of the spirit within. It is where the drama of human soul is enacted. Our body and mind must be made the vehicles for the expression of the spirit within. The more we manifest the spirit within, the more fulfillment we achieve in this life. The kshetra in which the spirit of man has to express itself is dharma kshetra. That is a field where the battle of righteousness has to be fought relentlessly. The inveterate forces that have to be fought against are internal in character. Everyone has to fight them out. We have come here to fight, not to yield. Human life is meant for fighting the evil forces. To whom we have to fight? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, etc. Anger, jealousy, hatred, and all other vices. These are the things to be fought. Our personality is a fabric woven of 3 strands, sattva, rajas and tamas. The 3 important qualities. What is rajas? It is the dynamic element. What is tamas? It is a static element. Rajas generates forces of change, whereas tamas tends towards changelessness and conservation. While tamas is a thesis, rajas is antithesis. Conflict is a result of the one being pitted against the other. This is the Kurukshetra, or the field of conflict. It is only when the conflict is faced with knowledge and power generated by sattva that the Kurukshetra becomes converted into dharma kshetra. The man of learning always sharpens his intellect and wins the battle of life by the supreme faculty of discrimination, what we call viveka. We have that quality in us, we have to develop it properly. Discrimination. He is able to discriminate with definiteness between the self and the non-self, as the royal swan is able to separate milk from the water. A person of such high degree of discrimination is said to be a truly wise one, which is a mark of greatness. Such a person realizes his true nature and enjoys eternal peace and bliss. There are so many ways of learning if we only have the attitude of learning. But if we have ego more prominent in us, then all learning is stopped. So learning through keen observation of happenings around us would bring enlightenment. In a certain place, the fishermen were catching fish. It so happened once as an eagle came there and snatched one of the fish, and it was flying. There were many crows. They saw this. They immediately chased the eagle. They surrounded the eagle in all directions, making a terrible noise. Whichever way the eagle flew with the fish, the crows followed it. So it became exhausted. It could not fly anymore. Then it came and sat on a tree because it could not fly any longer. In that exhaustion, that fish slipped away from its beak. The crows at once let the eagle alone and flew after the fish. Now, relieved of its worries, the eagle rested for a while on the branch of a tree, and it thought, why I became so much restless and worried? All these crows surrounded me. They did not allow me to fly in any way. That wretched fish was at the root of all my troubles. I have not got rid of it, and therefore I am at peace. A sincere spiritual aspirant of keen observation can learn a lesson from this. As long as a man has the fish, that is, when he is attached to the things of the world, he must perform actions and consequently suffer from worry and anxiety and restlessness. No sooner does he discard these sources of attachment, the desires which are harmful for his spiritual unfoldment, then his terrible activities fall away and he enjoys peace of soul. There is another instance which Sri Ramakrishna has given in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. You must have noticed how honey is stored in the comb. Hundreds of bees accumulate their honey by several days of hard labor. But they can't enjoy their honey, for a man soon breaks the comb and takes it away. This is a great lesson for us, that we should not hoard things. We can learn a great lesson, become truly wise, one of the marks of greatness, by an analogy given by Sri Ramakrishna. There is water and milk. If you keep the mind which is like milk in the world which is like water, then the milk and water will get mixed. That's why milk is kept in a quiet place to set into curd, and then it is churned to get butter from it. This butter does not mix with, but floats on water. Likewise, through spiritual disciplines practiced in a quiet place, churn the butter of knowledge and devotion from the milk of the mind, then that butter can easily be kept in the water of the world. It will not get mixed with the world. The mind will float detached on the water of the world. Now, the third important quality which I have referred, a man of spiritual greatness, he is always content with whatever he has. He never grumbles, never. In the words of Lord Krishna, Santushto yena kenachit. He is content with whatever he has. He is content with the bare means of sustenance. Contentment is joy. Contentment is peace. He does not worry himself about anything. Santosha is a remarkable mark of greatness. Man of contentment is ever cheerful and serene. Such a man is Atmanyeva Santushtaha. He is always satisfied with his own divine spirit. His mind is not attached by any things of the world. His mind never likes to come down from the state of spirit. No occasion or incident can disturb such a person, for he has discontented himself with all that is anatman. He has rejected all that is non-self by the power of discrimination. So, such a person is never disturbed by ups and downs in life. He has understood and realized the value of contentment. So he is always cheerful and blissful. Of course, there is an incident where we can see that remarkable quality of contentment, which this incident also I have referred in my previous talks. That when Alexander the Great, when he approached a saint, he was so much fascinated by him, he invited him to come to his country, which he refused. Then Alexander tried to persuade him in so many ways, but he never liked to get away from the place where he was. Then he threatened to kill him. Then the saint burst into laughter. What? You are telling a greatest lie. How can you kill me? Can you kill me? I am deathless. He was really dwelling in his own true nature. What your sword can do, it can cut my body into pieces, that's all. It cannot cut my spirit. Nayanam chindanti shastrani, nayanam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kledayantyapo, nashosheti marutaha. This Atman, this divine spirit cannot be cut by sword, cannot be wet by water, cannot be burnt by fire, cannot be blown away by wind. It's all pervading, it's everywhere. I am that. Alexander was amazed. And he is refusing all the gifts Alexander offering him. He said, I will give you all comforts. Come, I will give a separate palace for you to live on. But he rejected outright. I don't care for your palace. I don't want any of your comforts. I have found my comfort in the divine spirit. Nothing else can give me more comfort than this. That is the realization. So, Alexander was completely transformed by the sage's words. There is another instance. Sri Ramakrishna's mother, her name was Chandramani Devi. Mathur Babu, who was looking after Sri Ramakrishna's needs, he was overwhelmed by seeing the spiritual personality of Sri Ramakrishna. He was amazed at the childlike simplicity of the master. He therefore cherished a desire to make some permanent provision for Sri Ramakrishna, so that he would not be in any trouble in case he wants anything in the future. But Sri Ramakrishna's supreme spirit of renunciation would not entertain any such ideas. He would outright reject all such things. I don't want anything, not a pie, not a cent. So Mathur thought he could carry out his intention. Suppose he goes to Sri Ramakrishna's mother. So one day he came to her. She was at that time living at Dakshineshwar. Mathur Babu appealed to her to ask him anything she wanted. Whatever she wants, she can ask for. Chandra Devi said, what? What do I need? What do I need, my son? He is addressing Mathur Babu as her own son. You have already provided me clothing, food, all these things I am getting. I am not at all in need of anything more. But Mathur was a very rich man of the time. Anybody else in Chandramani's position could have gladly asked for some big amount of money. Mathur didn't leave her. Again and again he pressed her to ask something from him. When Mathur Babu was asking him again and again, then Chandramani said, all right, if you must give something, then buy for me some 5 cents worth of tobacco leaves. I want to make a tooth powder. Mathur Babu was greatly moved. He moved to tears at this ideal contentment. She never wanted anything. He made salutations to her in great respect, and Mathur Babu said to himself, who but such a mother could give birth to a son like Sri Ramakrishna? In Holy Mother's life also we have got an instance where Mother also showed this remarkable quality of santushtaha, contentment. Once she had gone on pilgrimage to Rameshwar. The king of the place had made all arrangements for her visit. Then the king came and asked Holy Mother to choose any of the diamonds or precious stones lying there. He was happy to give, but Holy Mother immediately said she needed nothing. This remarkable contentment made Holy Mother supremely great. Then a person of remarkable quality, he gives respect to everyone. He does not hesitate to honor anybody. That is another remarkable quality which I mentioned earlier. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsva vinashyantam yah pashyati sapashyati. Bhagavad Gita. The same Lord pervades all beings as there is the same heat in every particle of fire. He exists in all created forms as rain pouring down from the sky consists only of water. There may be varieties of creatures, but the essence within them is the same, just as it is the same akasha, sky, space which fills both a pot and a house. It is the same space. So he who has developed such a vision honors every creature. The characteristic of such a great man is given in another verse by Sri Krishna in the Gita. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shunichaiva shvapakecha panditaha samadarshinaha. A man of wisdom, a jnani, a man of true knowledge, he looks with an equal eye on learned and humble Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, or even a dog, or an outcast. He does not distinguish anyone. The eternal is the same in all, in animals as in men, in learned ones as in despised outcasts. The light of Paramatman dwells in all bodies and is not affected by the differences in the bodies it illumines. The Jnani sees the one God in all beings and develops the quality of equal-mindedness which is characteristic of the great. Such a man, therefore, shows no disrespect to any being. Even they give respect to the animals. Generally, we are so indifferent towards animals. But a real spiritual person will not harm anyone. That is why there is a saying, a real sage, where he lives, round about his cottage, all the animals live in peace. Lions, tigers, all the animals, they don't quarrel, they don't fight, they live in peace. To give again example, in Holy Mother's life, there was a pet cat in the house of Holy Mother. It was so arranged that milk was to be given to the cat daily. Though it was being given every day, the animals, in spite of it, sometimes they steal. One day one of the monastic members was torturing the cat. Seeing that, Holy Mother became grave and said to that person, "Look, why are you doing that? Why are you torturing the animal? You can only scold, but do not beat it. Feed it regularly and see that it doesn't go to any other house to steal food." She then reminded him solemnly, "Do not beat the cat. I am dwelling inside the cat also." This is the statement of Holy Mother. You must know I am living there too. If you are torturing that animal, you are torturing me directly. Used to love everyone, would show respect to everyone. So she would render all help in all possible ways to whomsoever come to her. During festival days, she would give sumptuous food to them. Many times, Holy Mother would distribute sweets and fruits to all these people. The villagers were overwhelmed by her love. Each one of them received love, kindness and respect from Holy Mother. One day this watchman said to Mother, "O Mother, people call you a goddess, the Divine Mother, and by such other names, I do not understand all this." The Holy Mother said gently, "Well, you don't have to understand. Just remember that you are my brother Ambika and I am your sister Sharda." What a wonderful statement. One more incident of her remarkable greatness. In treating everyone with due respect. There was a Muslim Pandit who was very ferocious at that time, who was considered untouchable. One day he was invited for a lunch in Holy Mother's house. He sat for the meals, for the lunch. There was a lady, but she was not serving him properly. because she was castrated. She began to throw the food at the plate from a distance, a glaring insult and utter disrespect to the man who was eating. Holy Mother saw these things. She couldn't tolerate. She immediately came. She herself began to serve him with all kindness and with all respect, as if she were his own mother. Not only that, after the Muslim had finished his lunch, Holy Mother cleaned the place with her own hands. That's the thing. So Holy Mother then made a statement, even as Sharadananda, who was one of the great disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, even as Sharadananda is my son, exactly so he is this Muslim Amjad. This Samadarshitva is remarkable mark of greatness. Samadarshitva. That is the Sanskrit word. Now the last quality is a person of spiritual greatness is always peaceful. Who is perfectly tranquil? He who has controlled the mind, who moves among the objects with his senses under restraint, and who is free from attachment and aversion. Again, Lord Krishna has pointed out on the Gita, Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishaya nindriyaischaran atmavashyer vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. The person of this great mark of tranquility, with his mind completely under control, allows his senses to enjoy these objects that are necessary for the maintenance of life, but always preserves the evenness of his mind, whether the objects be pleasant or unpleasant. Now let us try to understand the anatomy of raga and dvesha, which helps us to get rid of them to attain tranquility. What is this raga? Raga means attachment. Raga dvesha means likes and dislikes. What we find in the world is a mixture of happiness and misery. Different thoughts bring happiness and misery in varying degrees. Small bits of thoughts often do not give us any particular happiness or unpleasantness, stress or tension. It is only applied thoughts, thoughts in which we give mental expression to our worldly attachments, and thoughts pertaining to things from which we try to get joy and happiness. That creates stress and tension in us. Now to consider a case. A mother has sent her son to Europe. Well, the son has gone, but the mother begins to worry night and day. Why? Because of attachment. Because she is deeply liking her son, so she is worrying. What does it mean? Her mind goes out, reaches out, issues forth to an object which is beyond the comprehension of her senses at the moment. Her worries are purely imaginary. She expects her son will give her happiness if he is with her, and when he is not, she is troubled. It's all imaginary. In this kind of happiness or unhappiness, the mind projects, goes out to something away from us. As long as the son is in Europe, this stress is there almost constantly. Sometimes it may be less, sometimes it may be more, depending on how many other thoughts she is entertaining. When the son writes that he will return soon, immediately the mother becomes comparatively happy. The projection of her mind is reduced a little and her stress is lessened. Well, the son returns. When the son returns, the projection is completely withdrawn. But then, is she happy permanently? No, she is temporarily happy. Why? The very next day she is unhappy on another score. Maybe her son did not like the food she had prepared, and he did not eat well according to her satisfaction. Again the mind is projected out. The mother was thinking all along, I am unhappy because my son was away. If her contention had been true, she should have been perfectly happy once her son had returned. Why is she unhappy now? It is a constant recurring misunderstanding in us that we are happy or unhappy because of the external world and circumstances and the things outside. But the truth is that as long as our mind is projecting outside, issuing forth away from ourselves towards the objects of the world, we are subject to worries and anxieties. The moment the mind is withdrawn back to ourselves from its projections, we are contented and we are happy and peaceful. So mind without projection is said to be in tranquil. The secret of true happiness is a non-issuing forth, non-projecting mind. This projection is caused by raga, dvesha and bhaya, likes and dislikes and fear. What is raga? It is the tendency in man to go out for external objects to get satisfaction. What is dvesha? Dvesha is a tendency to avoid things which give him displeasure. Raga is what makes us say or feel, I want this, give me more. I want sukha. All this is raga. Dvesha makes us say, I do not want this, take it away from me. I do not want dukkha. These are all different shades of dvesha. Give a child some sugar. It will put its tongue out and try to get more and more, thus expressing raga. It tastes the sugar, it wants more. Give it something bitter, it will spit out. This is dvesha. These two features are congenital. They are with us right from our birth. All living beings are deluded by these two forces, raga and dvesha, wanting more and more of the things that give pleasure and avoiding things that give displeasure. How do the forces of raga and dvesha affect man? They make him more and more selfish. Propelled by raga, he wants to grab things from others and wants more and more, and he is not satisfied with whatever things he gets. Dvesha makes him dislike and hate some things and persons. So that means raga and dvesha are at the root of all crimes. For we commit crimes only out of selfishness. Brothers fight. Father and son fight. Neighbors fight. Go to the cause. Why they are fighting? The cause is always selfishness, which arises out of raga and dvesha. So, by spiritual discipline and following the ideal of men of marks of greatness, we must free ourselves from the clutches of raga and dvesha to attain ever blissful tranquility. So there are great men and women in the world who have remarkable spiritual greatness manifested in their life. Even reading them makes us more peaceful. It soothes us. So let us try to cherish those spiritual qualities in our life by reading them, by understanding them and practicing them. Thank you all.